Good morning and welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be going over one transmog farm that I truly love. Let us begin. Okay, so today we are going to be going over the Dungeon of the Botanica. Now for anyone getting started within transmog, this is one of the go-to gold farms when you want to actually pad out your auction house and get to those initial 1000 items. This is because Botanica is incredibly easy to farm up and it has a wide variety of transmog to come along with this. As we go into the dungeon, we're going to run around and have a gander at how we actually go about farming this up. It's relatively simple. I just typically use my Soothe ability and my Typhoon ability. This is so I can gather up all of the mobs very easily, and what we want to do is gather up all of the mobs all throughout the dungeon and run them all to the end. This is not like batch packing where we gather up all of the mobs and just burn them down in specific areas. This is a full run through and just picking them all up. Typically I like to use my dash abilities in order to actually get around a lot faster, and overall I don't really pick up most of the bosses or anything. I'm mainly going for the mobs. The fun fact about different types of BC gold farms is because they have a chance of dropping some really high ticket recipes. This could be the ones for the Fellsteel Longblade and all of the others. The Fellsteel Longblade is the keynote item, obviously, and this can be farmed up from other areas, such as, for instance, the Sunwell. Sunwell is a good one to actually farm up. However, the Botanica is a very easy one, as you have 10 chances per hour, and you can do this relatively faster than doing the Sunwell. I typically like to farm this area up just for the easiness and how to do this, because it doesn't take that long in order to do a full run, and by gathering them all up I don't have to waste any time in burning them all down. Currently we're at 1 minute 52 seconds and we're nearly at the end, and this is me not even trying. For this particular gold farm at the moment, do not take my times on the timer quite literally, as I'm not doing this in a serious manner, as I'm trying to explain how to actually do the farm in question. However, what we want to do is just make our way over towards Warp Splinter, which is the last boss of the Botanica. We'll need to head over towards him, and there is a couple of keynote things in order to do. We need to pick up these lashes here, and we'll want to pick up these lashes here. Just a little Soothe and Typhoon will actually get them, and once that's done, kill the last boss and then wait for all the mobs to come. You can take them out as and when they actually come towards you, which I typically like to do, as they like to gather up quite a lot of these mobs. Now, you can do this in another way, in which you can actually just take out the mobs loot, but that takes a little bit longer in order to do than just gathering them all up and letting them chase you through the entire dungeon, so to speak. Now, running through all of this, we can actually start looting at the exact same time as gathering up all of the mobs to speed things up. You get things like arcane tomes for this, which is used towards getting reputation with the scryers, and people pay a nice price for arcane tomes. Even though arcane tomes are now region wide, this actually comes up quite nicely. Other than that, once they're all dead, you can just use your Shadow Mail, because there is a couple of mobs that don't actually come along with that. And if you are a herbalist, you can herb the last boss, who gives you some motes of life, which can add some additional gold towards your gold farm. We take a look at this. We actually got some arcane tomes, we got some netherwood cloth, some actual herbs, and also some motes of life. Other different types of transmog are the low tiers for this particular run, and there we have it. We have a 1708 gold item. However, what we're really going for is some of the ones that drop that are over at least 1000 gold. With the Botanica, you also get loads of reputation items which you can sell on the auction house as well to add it up quite nicely. Once that's done, you can just run out through the back of the boss and run back in after resetting the instance and rinsing and repeating. This dungeon is incredibly easy to do, and I love doing it, especially when I want to pad out my auction house, especially when you're doing volume based transmog farming, which is what I used to do quite a lot of, and is a nice way in order to gather up a ton of different types of transmog in a very short amount of time. And overall, this is a very easy transmog farm in order to do. Other than that, guys, that is pretty much everything I have to say for today's video. And other than that, if you want to find any other additional gold making resources, then you can find that on the Patreon. Other than that, guys, have an awesome rest of the day, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be soon.